Flashpoint Ebontis. We are back in the building. A lot of stuff going on. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. It's gonna be a crazy morning because we got this. I'm chomping at the bit to go see a slightly anticipated movie. If you can't imagine what that is. Now
Well, your priorities not in order right now.
Hey, they are definitely in order. Okay, a decade of waiting for an ultimate compilation of Marvel. Yeah, I'm in the right place.
Yo, Infinity War's out, man. I'm just blessed that you're still here.
No, they don't have showtimes this early. Otherwise, I'd be doing this later.
Exactly. So we're very appreciative that there's a flashpoint happening. So
Nah,
we can't make it too much of a long point at all.
yeah, I got a couple hours. We got some time to delve in, but yeah, we'll try and make it reasonable. We got some good topics to discuss this morning. But on a sidebar, I know I probably shouldn't even be doing that. Um, I know you guys are enjoying what's coming. Sounds like there's a lot of good things coming. We've got a few things to discuss, but we had a big game drop in about the last week or so. Both of us had our ability to get our hands on it and dabble into it a little bit. God of
hmm
War. I gotta talk about it, man. Just
Let's
a
go.
quick rundown. I'm
hmm
probably 7 to 8 hours in, and I'm taking my time, like exploring every side path, kind of go wandering around and everything.
hmm
So far, um, it's living up. I mean, I don't want
Yeah.
to say too much. I don't want to like obviously give any spoilers, but you see it getting crazy reviews. People saying it's like one of their best games they've played in a long time, and
hmm
so far so good. And I'm not even that far in.
Yeah, but I would have to agree. I'm again maybe a little bit before you, so maybe 5 6 hours. And same thing, taking my time, getting collectibles, doing my thing, and it just wows me every little thing, And again, it's very early. I know there's still a lot of game, but there's some games that when you play them, you like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is one of them games, and there's a certain part me and you both talked about, and I'm like, yeah, you get to the knock knock sequence. And he's like,
Oh
no,
my
not yet. I said,
gosh.
hit me back when you get to that. And it's just the game starts off with a strangers, and it's just wow.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, there will be no spoilers, but the game starts to tone off really early.
yeah.
And what they're doing right now in what's it,
Sony
Santa
Santa
Monica.
Monica. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just it's wow. It's wow. We're enjoying the ride. Enjoying the ride.
That's good stuff. Hats off to that studio. And it's one of those moments, I don't want to say this for any game and pretty much anybody in the world of entertainment. When something
hmm
amazing comes out and it's pretty much in the level of greatness,
hmm
it's really cool to see everyone from every walk of gaming and things like that unanimously
Yes.
give cheers and praise to this game. And it's,
hmm
be it, the Xbox president, you see Bungie shouting it out. You see everybody from everywhere being, hey, you guys, we appreciate what you've done. You have done an amazing job. Thank you. And that's it. No
That's
simple,
it.
no caveats, no nothing. Just hats off to an amazing piece of work.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, man. It's, yeah, shout out to all of, even like you said, Microsoft, even the other, I believe was it Guerrilla Games from Horizon
Mm-hmm.
Zero Dawn, they did something really cool. And it's good to see, greatness recognized, and like I said, so far so good. I have my verdict, once that thing is completed. But I'm gonna actually take my time with it, man. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So it's just good like filler before, supposed DLC that we're gonna be talking about.
Indeed, yeah. It's just take the time, guys. If you do play that game, which I highly, highly recommend, enjoy
Mhm.
the little pieces. Don't speed through it. Don't skip over the stuff. Look at the details and just watch. And it's
Yes.
something you can't not watch because there are no cutscenes to skip. You're in the mix. And I really like the
Absolutely.
cinematography. Sounds weird. Basically, the way the game is shot, the way the camera's positioned, you're
Mhm.
in it the whole time. If you were able to stay awake for like 36 hours and play it straight, it would be one continuous story. And I think it's kind of a cool
Yes.
thing. And I
Very
know other
cool.
things may have done it, but just the way it's presented is really well done. So, had to get that
Absolutely.
out of the way. Gonna be looking forward to more of that one for sure. But you guys came here for Destiny, so
hmm
let's jump in and see what we've got.
Yeah.
Tuesday, slightly a big day, right?
hmm
We got the Warmind Reveal stream. So we
Woo.
had multiple sets of people on there, some from Vicarious Visions, who seems to be working kind of hand in hand with Bungie, it sounds like more so. They're the ones who developed the PC port, but I think they're just kind of in the mix with him now, co-developing this thing, which is really cool. And to get you guys started, I guess the way a Bungie stream sometimes does it, we've got the Reveal archive. So this is it. But we're just going to start with the trailer real fast so you guys can get a feel for what is coming.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, they kicked it off in style, and whoever puts those trailers together for Destiny does a damn good job.
Yeah, their marketing team is always lit. Like, always. It's not even, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not a question. It's just like, I can't wait.
Question.
I'm just going to be like tingles by the time I'm done watching whatever I'm watching. Good stuff every
time.
You
already know. Yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to the marketing. They always knock it out the park.
Yeah, so they had people from Vicarious Visions. So those were a couple leads there. Then they had a tour of the Hellas Basin, which we'll get to talk about that a little bit. And then they had they had Kevin Yanes and Cosmo on talking about Crucible. So they had a lot of guys on there. John Wisniewski, Josh Hamrick. So much stuff in this thing, guys. When you see on Twitter, it's going to be like 3,700 words. You're like, I need to sit down. So it's just crazy. But to talk in, first big point we got, exotics. This is huge. This is where we're going to start this thing.
Let's get it.
Okay, so as you guys know, most of you guys probably have most of the exotics already, if not all of them. They've been handed out fairly quickly, and they actually flat out address that. They say it right here. Many players, if not all of the, have most, if not all of the non-quest exotics, and the quests you guys probably knocked out as well. And they don't want to make players re-earn exotics, but they've been trying to find a way to make exotics literally exotic again. Make the acquisition feel good, make the upgrading feel good, and the way the weapon feels should be unique and exotic.
Yes.
So, steps in the right direction. So what are they doing, sir?
Yeah, man, this is exotic masterworks, man. This whole bit. Should I touch right into the catalyst?
Yeah, just jump right in. We're right here on screen.
Yeah, man. I mean, pretty much, like as the TWAB is explaining, that there will be one exotic masterwork per exotic weapon. And in order to bring the masterwork process, it's not going to be just how it was with the legendary. So pretty much what they're going to do, you're going to have to find this exotic masterwork catalyst. And when inspecting the exotic, there will be a hint which kind of gives you what activity that will grant the catalyst for that weapon. And it says not all masterworks, exotic masterworks will have the same drop rates. Some exotic masterwork weapons are guaranteed after a certain amount of engagement, while others are RNG. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pumped already.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. And the thing about it actually gives me shades of exotic bounties.
Yep.
And just a whole mystery behind it. And one thing about it, which is cool, is that also it's going to unlock an additional perk set, a perk for the exotic to make it even more powerful. So not only do we have the exotic tuning that's already happening with these exotics that we already have, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to also have this masterwork catalyst as something to grind for and to continue on for. And I think this is pretty cool. What's your feeling on it so far?
So far, from what I've heard, I like that you don't have to go get a new exotic and hopefully it's going to be a masterwork, or it's going to take 10 cores and it's going to make us blow through that again. Either I like that it's different, because cores for legendaries, they're standard currency. Work on those on your basic stuff. That's fine. But if you're going to make exotics unique, you had to do it in a different way, and I think this is a great start. So the fact that you have different ways for different guns to unlock the catalyst to get started, that alone's cool. So you can see Cold Heart, it says found in strikes against the most challenging opponents. Most people are assuming either heroics or maybe bosses on strikes or just nightfalls in general. But you can kind of get away, but they're saying, we're not telling you guys. Now people are going to figure this out playing crazy.
Love it.
This is what we wanted. We wanted things for the community to figure out. This is the when you guys build together, when there's YouTube videos exploding, when there's Reddit is saying, hey, here's the thread of what are all the
Mhm.
catalysts for your exotics. People are looking, people are diving in. It's a reason to take your gun. And the nice thing is, the catalyst changes some of these weapons pretty
Yes.
substantially. There's only two I've
Yes.
heard. So those are the only two I know of. They've
Vigilance wing.
Vigilance Wing and Crimson are the two I've heard of what it is.
Yes.
So we'll get to
Yes.
those here in a second. But the idea is they're all different. Exotics are already good. They're all getting buffs already. If you guys have seen some of the stuff with regards to Rat King, when you're in a group, it's 2 to 3, it's reloaded. You don't even have to have it out, just equipped.
Yeah.
It's full auto now. You've got Graviton Lance with the 2-shot with the Orbital Prime, like perks, like little balls going on. So many things. They showed more with Hardlight. We'll get to some of these other changes in a bit, but all the exotics are getting buffed, and this is going to take them literally to a different level. So
Yes. Big
I
time.
think this is going to be something that's going to be fun and really make. This is what I asked and preached it before. Make it a hard decision. What exotic do I want to run? And this, I think, is going to hopefully give people options of play styles and alternatives, and definitely as well, you're still going to get the orbs, so now you can use it as well in PvE for strikes. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
still get that legendary
Yeah.
masterwork kind of orb thing. Continue. You were
No,
saying
no,
I
it's
cut you
just
off.
like it's just good across the board. So you got the orb generation, like the legendaries. We've got new perks for these things. It's a challenge to get them. They're different places. Some are RNG, some are time based. Like, I mean, that's the type of stuff. This is setting up the fall. These are the
Yeah,
things I wanted to see.
this is huge, and I want to jump in real quick
Yeah.
because this is I mean we've been ripping them. Let's be honest,
No, I mean it's
for
true.
for a couple of months, and this is something that was completely unexpected. To be honest, I didn't know how they would handle exotic masterworks. So I was very curious about this update to see how it would be approached. And what's dope about it is they're not making us have to get the exotic again, and kind of like trash the existing one. You keep it, but you have to do set activities. And I was having this discussion with like Abatu recently, and his concern was like, hey, I just don't want to do a lot of like, random RNG. I don't know what to do. But I said, here's the thing though, like you said, Ebon, is like a lot of this kind of stuff, this mystery that was kind of in D1 that's missing in D2, which is where it galvanizes the community. You're trying to figure out where to go, what exactly to do, you know what I'm saying, for each, exotic catalyst. That to me is very cool. I miss those days of like, okay, you got that exotic bounty. Okay, what, do crucible activity or do whatever, but you're trying to figure out specifically where to go, where to do it at, what triggers it. That kind of stuff is really, really cool. And then the fact that they're even going the extra mile, like we said, we know a vigilance wing is supposed to be full auto, is supposed to be the ultimate catalyst unlock perk, in addition to the stat boost. Because if you look at the picture of the Cold Heart right now, look at that stability, right? You see
Yeah.
that stability jump up, you see that reload speed jump up. So not only are you getting the stat boost, not only are you getting the orb generation, then there will be another perk. Like that is really cool. So that exotic becomes your exotic, right? You you worked hard, and what I like is it forces you to really play with something you love and master it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it just I love this. This is I really don't want to understate how much I love this change right here. This is really cool. Unexpected, very hype. To be honest, low key, this is probably one of the most things I'm excited for. And the whole DLC looks cool, don't get me wrong.
No.
But I'm really excited for this.
No, I mean that's huge. As you said, you got stats, you've got the reason to grind, and they
Hmm.
they did it right. They're not like, hey, go do public events, get your masterwork cores from whatever, and then put them into whatever exotics. Play with the weapon you want to upgrade and use it to get better. You're gonna have to spend some time with each gun just to use it. You're not going to be like, hey, I just want to go through and get enough of these cores and drop some cores into those so I just know I have the masterworks I want, and then they're just in my inventory. You got to spend some time
Absolutely.
with it. And that's how
Absolutely.
it, if you're going to have a master of anything, you need to spend some time with it to master it.
Shout out to the dude 79 in the chat. Oh man, we got to get you. They run a cool show. Ebontis. It's called Tower Talk.
No,
We
not.
got to get a
Oh, I feel like I've
Flashpoint
definitely heard of that. Yeah.
and Tower Talk going, man. These guys are really hardcore Destiny. I love what they're doing. Over shout out to the Short Pause. My boy Piccolo and the dude 79 is in the chat. But yeah, man, we're excited. We're excited about these masterworks. If you don't hear it already in our voices.
Yeah, in case that's not clear, we're hiding our enthusiasm real well.
Continue.
So going down a little lower, so we've got some details about the exotics, and they said there's going to be plenty of questions, so let's answer a few of those before we get going.
Mm-hmm.
So they said to get ahead of the questions, they said exotic masterwork pursuits only need to be done once per account. So you're not just going to be grinding it all the time. I mean, you can move the weapons per account, so it makes sense. Through masterwork process, duplicate drops of an exotic via whatever, they will basically, you'll pick them up at the same masterwork state. Mm-hmm. So for some reason, if you're on a different character and you pick one up and you're like, hey, I have 2 of these, you can, continue on with the next one. It seems kind of minor, but it's still there. Mm-hmm. So the exotic masterwork process takes fully place in the weapon screen. So no inventory use, anything like that. So that's a good thing. Not all exotic masterworks will be available immediately. Now this is the one I was kind of wondering about. I wonder how many they're going to have. Are they going to dole them out like every couple of weeks as like a little teaser, a little drip feed? Yeah. Or, I mean, so then you're just going to have, okay, here's these 3. Everybody knows how to get them. Here's another 3. Like, I kind of wish it was a lot. So it was just this like info dump of like everybody. It's like, hey, I'm gonna pick this one first. This person picks this one. It was a little more variety. If there's like 5, then, and I know there's gonna be more than that, but I want it. I would like to have seen it to be almost all of them. Maybe it won't be the new exotics. Maybe they won't be masterworks yet. Maybe
it could be it too. Maybe it's restricted to the initial ones. First the initial set that we already know of, that we already have.
Yeah, the tower hasn't had a chance to get them, figure out their blueprint. No, I'm just kidding. Making up some more in there.
Some extra lore on the side. Yeah. I wonder. That's a good question, because I wonder if now that they're reintroducing the Suros regime, right? Will the Suros have it at day and day at the launch, or would it be something that's added later? It's gonna be curious to see how they add it.
What would that one be for you? What would be your exotic masterwork hope?
That's what I was saying, because the Suros is, what is it, zoomed in fire calls, double more damage, right?
It was like focus fire, so it was slower but more damage, and then, or it was a little quicker out of sights, but you also had the chance to get some health.
But didn't it also have what's the perk where the bottom half of the magazine also causes that too? Now I didn't see that part of the perk in it. I'm assuming it should have it.
I have no idea. I mean, it may not be exactly the same, but I guess we'll find out.
That's true too. Yeah, that's hard, man, because Suros is so good as it is. With that, they got the the fire rate. What could they add to? I mean, then it also heals.
Ting 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 ting. Just the sound. Sound of the Suros, man.
Remember D1? That thing was beast. Like,
oh man, vanilla D1. That thing was just brutal. Yeah, its range was so good. So, but
I don't know, man. I don't know what they would add to that as far as like a catalyst perk.
Yeah. So there are 2 that I've heard of. So the 2 that we know of, as you said, Vengeful Swing was one. You already said that one, going full auto. That thing's a monster right now.
Yeah, shout out to the dude. He said full auto vigilance. RIP to the competition in the Crucible.
Seriously, just start mowing them down.
Yeah.
And if you're in recent range, just start it on about their belly button. By the time they get to their head, they're done.
Done.
Just so much. So that's crazy. And then Crimson, which definitely going to need a little rework, so we'll see what they do with that one. But it's going to be 100 range.
Wow.
So a hand cannon with max, full range on that one.
Wow.
So yeah, that little 3-tap may get a little more harder to tack down, even if you're using a scout rifle. Apparently, going to be duking it out with a hand cannon. So that's kind of nuts.
Well, we wanted exotics to feel exotic, so we can't complain now.
Yeah, no, it's like I want to be like, well, crap, which one do I pick? That's the whole point. That's literally the point. If they're all to a point of, now some are still going to be better, that's fine. But if some fit certain play styles, which we'll get to some other ones that do as well, they have certain benefits for certain situations. There's some that just felt pretty meh most of the time, and now we've got some alternatives, so this will be good. So we'll come down here. We've got John Wisniewski. So they got more exotic kind of previews, basically. So we had already seen Sturm and Drang. We saw...
Which is very impressive.
Yeah, so that's the one where if you use the Drang sidearm, get the kills, and you can start stacking bullets in your hand cannon that overloads it up to 20. I think it starts with like 12. Each bullet above the base that you start stacking into it, and you can do it as long as you don't die, you can stack up to 20 in there. So you could have 6, 7, 8 shots, I can't quite remember the right amount, that are doing double damage of a normal hand cannon shot. You can two-shot with that thing. So if you can have like 3 people that you can two-shot if you can stay alive, that's going to take some skill, but that's the skill. I mean, that's the cool things that we get to start watching again. That's where it's fun to be entertained by people at that ultra high skill level in those competitive matches. Like, okay, they got the little sidearm kills, got a couple sidearm. He's switching over. He's always going to go finish the team. Oh, he does the double tap. Like, I mean, you can see those like start trying to get there. You can see those moments getting a little better. So,
Absolutely.
that one's cool. And so we got some new ones. So we got Tractor Cannon, Hardlight, and Borealis, the PlayStation one.
Talk about that tractor cannon, though.
So, shout out to Destin Legary. He is a happy man right now.
Hell yeah, Destin love that track. He likes to troll with it.
So, I'll show you guys here real quick. Basically, in the video, you'll see he's got the tractor cannon. He jumps up. Now, when he shoots him with the tractor cannon, what it doesn't show, he's doing so much damage in there. Basically, the idea is you can see those shots on screen. It's like 169 with a sidearm. Everyone's critting. Basically, what it does is tractor cannon, for one, applies suppression. Now, for bosses, it may not count. For basically most enemies and for Crucible, suppression works where you can't use your abilities. It's rough. So, I mean, obviously, pretty... But it's also going to make you vulnerable to void damage. So, you're significantly more weak to void damage. So, if you have a void singe on a Nightfall, for example, and you bring in tractor cannon, you got to do that risk reward. Come in. And if you're with a team, one of you guys runs that tractor cannon, runs in there, fly by, bam, shoot him. Somebody drops 2 rockets in there or a Nova bomb. You're gonna start melting bosses. This is where the play of a team, like planning out what weapons you're gonna have. If we're gonna go Void Singe, are we gonna is it worth? That just made Void a whole different animal, right there.
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm only not even thinking about that. I'm also thinking about synergy for my Void Lock with certain things as well. Because the exotic, I believe, was it the exotic? What's that one? Nazareth.
One Nazareth, and one of those that's everything Void, right?
Yeah, man. So I'm just thinking of like tremendous synergy all around. This thing is really going to be a great debuff for bosses. And I'm curious about, because we know it has that suppression effect, right?
Yep.
So I'm curious that if in PvP, will that operate like the old, Titan Fun Police?
Like a suppression grenade? Yeah, it absolutely will shut you
down. That's crazy.
You're going to blast them off and they're getting ready to do it. They can't just turn around and throw a grenade, or they're shut down on abilities. They're kind of limp mode for a little while.
Yeah, nothing. Love it. That made Tractor. That's great utility.
Yeah.
For a weapon that, for the most part, let's be honest, like Tractor Cannon was a joke weapon. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it was fun, but it didn't have a lot of purpose. Like I'm not going to go do a boss rush with it or anything like that. There's no way I'm going to get worked. So these are the types of things, as we said, a situational change where if you want to go Void on I don't even know what the modifiers are going to be on heroic strikes, but say they do throw some Void stuff in there. Okay, go grab your tractor cannon. Let's do it, guys. One with a tractor cannon. Have it at least in your inventory on strikes. You could switch it out.
Yep.
If you've got it, somebody else hopefully has got Void, and get rolling. So
get rolling. Shout out to Kaibazu in the chat. He's gonna rip through bosses with coordinated fire teams. Absolutely.
If you had 2 Nova bombs and then on top of that 1 tractor cannon, 1 tractor, 2 Nova at the same time, you want to talk about melting a boss? Whew.
Woo.
Man, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, throw a little tether down there. Oh man, you got fun.
Oh god,
you got fun with this.
Hunter with a tether. Throw a shadow grenade, shoot the tractor cannon, 2 Nova bombs. That boss is done.
That boss is finished, man.
He's just all right. I'm checking out, guys. That's too much. I gotta call in. I gotta call in Thanos. This is too much for me. So, little shout out to Avengers there. Little beast mode action.
No doubt. Getting ready for the Infinity War.
So, next we come to Hardlight. Now, Hardlight's actually not terrible in the first place. It's got no range drop off, basically. It's a laser light show. It's fun to watch, but they wanted to give it a little more oomph. So first, it's going to work the way Borealis does for the damage type switching.
Just holding the reload.
Yeah,
Borealis had that hard light should have had for the longest.
Yeah.
Let's switch those abilities. Continue.
No, no, I mean it's good. It's just like the whole
Hmm.
go in, switch it on the weapon thing, come back out. It's just like, no, if you're gonna have one that does all three and you had it on one, yes, this is perfect.
Hmm.
Now, the bounce off the walls is pretty, but it's really hard to hit people. You can, I've done it jokingly,
Hmm.
but now it's gonna be some skill shows.
Yes.
Bouncing bullets do double damage. That's it. What do you got?
Yeah. I mean that. Listen, I mean, it was always to me the techno light show gun. Like it was cool. What it could do, it looked good, but was it really functionally effective? The ricochet, not really. I mean, I remember sleeper actually being something that can actually you can kill yourself with. But now, if they're doubling ricochet bullet damage, you can actually do some work with this theoretically, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I mean, just to me, to be able to hold down the reload button, switch my elements on the fly. Now you've added complete functionality to this gun, like on the fly. And you saw the clip. They're going back and forth. He's going solar void, arc back. That's what I'm talking about. Just add utility back with that gun. Make it easy, just how they did with Borealis. I'm good, man.
Yeah, so he goes here, switches over to arc for the harpies, starts to blast them.
Yeah.
And still just crushing it, and then switches over here to void, melting down the
Boom.
Minotaur. Just 3 in a row. I'm like, that gun feels exotic, just right there for use of the fact that you can hit all 3 shields. I mean, so exactly. If I'm gonna go bring an exotic into PVE, and the other thing this stacks with, now with those shield types mattering even more,
Yeah.
because it was
right.
3x damage if you
Yes.
match the right shield, 2x
Good
with
point.
energy, and 1 with kinetic. This thing just became PVE powerful.
This is
All the
huge.
time. Yeah.
I'm thinking about heroic, what you call it, the Osiris heroic ones as well.
Oh, the
And you,
adventures? Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Yep. I mean,
Dude ask a good question though. Do something. Now he says, I wonder if we can switch elements on Prestige Nightfalls. I would assume so
yes.
because the
Yeah,
loadout.
it's a gun, not the element type. I would
Right,
assume.
yeah,
I would
because
think
you
that.
just locked into the hard light, but you still should be able to switch the element because that's a
Yeah.
feature of hard light that you're locked into.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
If
I would
not,
assume so.
yeah, I would assume so too. Yeah.
Hmm.
If not, then it damn sure should be. So.
Yes, that would be a problem.
Yeah, so I mean that was pretty cool, and as he's saying, Prestige is like the perfect spot. What if it's that point where you have Centurions coming out on one side, but you got Harpies later on, and you want to be able to be effective on both? Well,
How
here's your
valuable
exotic.
has hard light just become?
Oof, man, PVE greatness, looking right at it
Yeah.
right here. So, all right, for your PlayStation users,
Let me tune out. Let me say.
I'm on PC, man. I actually don't get it either, so I'm in your boat.
Oh,
Actually,
that's true. See,
Yeah.
now I don't feel bad. Like
Nope.
the PC guys can join in the Xbox pain
Yeah.
of PlayStation getting all these great
Yep.
guns and strikes for all these years.
Okay, I gotta say, the strike on PlayStation 4, I don't miss it.
Yeah, that's true. I did
That
hear about
Taken
that.
one, it's
Yeah,
when you see it,
when
you're
that
gonna
guy-
be like, meh. I mean, the boss
No.
fight's okay. It's so I
And
will.
I
I
heard the
will.
Crucible maps tend to be a little bit as well too.
Crucible's been kind of okay. How old am I? Okay. But no, Crucible maps they've been okay. It's more just the fact that it adds a little more variety. That's basically all. They may not be the favorite, but if it's one that just doesn't come up that often, you get a little more through your rotation. That's all I wish. So, that's the only reason for the Crucible maps is just variety. But Borealis is a sniper rifle if you're not on PlayStation, and it works similar to Hardlight, where if you hold down reload, you switch the damage type that you're doing. But now now it's going to work a little bit differently. You want to cover what's going on with this one?
I mean, just from what I remember, it was more of a like they're basically upping damage, right? So pretty much, let me just hit it real quick. It's yeah, basically they change the utility that you can match the shield, but for PvE they want to give a little bit more of a perk so that pretty much is it like doubling damage? Yeah, doubling damage to sniper round. Yes, that's a one hit kill to the body till you die reload. It's pretty rare to pull off, requires a fair amount of predictive awareness, but we had it happen organically a few times. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because if you're double damaging into the next reload or damage type swap, that's pretty beneficial and gives more, powerful functionality to the sniper gun. So I mean, I think that's dope. What do you feel about it?
I mean, it's got a very high skill ceiling, which we
Right.
need more of that. So in PvP, the idea is very interesting. If somebody's in their super and you can pop them with like a shot of the right type, and they said it doesn't happen that often, but if you get double damage out of anything on a sniper, that's a body shot. That's a 1 kill body shot. So that one's actually pretty cool, but I think it's going to be hard to do. But if some of those awesome snipers came back, like it was, I cannot remember the two guys, Crafty, Hovey, like some of those awesome snipers came back to use this one and they could actually put it together, that'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
And then on the other side in PvE, like if you break the proper enemy shield type, you're doing double damage. So if you can, plan it right where you're like, okay, I'm going to pop an enemy shield, turn on the boss for double damage while you guys go do this. Let me pop a shield, go get double damage, headshots on a boss, start melting them down even more too. So, and if you're running Void, hey, somebody throw a tractor cannon in there, talking about synergy. I mean, I just like the idea that we're going to have more options and they're making some of these more powerful. This one seems a little on the high skilled, not quite as frequently going to happen side.
Yes.
It's going to be, but as not all of us have it, you guys can enjoy it for now on PlayStation. And me, if I jump on there, it's fine. I got it on PlayStation, but I never used it, so you're not missing too much.
Let me ask you a quick question. Now that we're on this whole sniper kick, what do you think they add for buff to Darcy? Just thinking about little old Darcy.
I was like, you've got the range, you've got the highlighting. It's pretty much just, I mean, it's a sniper, but
they're going to buff every exotic weapon. So
the only ones they were going to not do is like Wardcliff, Merciless.
Right.
Were they going to touch the minigun?
I think Acreus gets left alone, right?
Acreus gets left alone. What's the minigun? Sweet Business. Are they touching that?
Is it Risk Runner?
No, Sweet Business is the one I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about Sweet? Oh, that's right. They didn't
I can't remember. I don't remember what's on that list. I know the list is somewhere. It's on an old TWAB.
It's on an old TWAB.
Yeah. But I think mid and multi-tool may be fine. But yeah, I think Darcy's going to get a change for sure. And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, what do you do to Darcy? I'm just thinking about it. Like, what could they do with that? It's going to be very interesting to see. Because let's give them credit. They're coming up with really cool stuff for each.
So far, they've been unique. I'm definitely kind of digging it so far. What I'd like is...
What you like?
Something for Borealis. If you're like aim down sights, give it some perks that make it a PvP sniper. Maybe for aim down sights for a while, locked on a head, hang on to it for like 3 or 4 seconds on head. The longer you're like tracked on a head, risk reward, the more your damage gets built up or something. Because you highlight the enemies, you've got the range. I don't know. I mean, that'd be something different. But I mean, that's just me spitballing here on the spot. But I have no clue at all. But.
Just curious.
So, what about you? I mean, you got any ideas? I'm just making stuff up as we talk.
I was just thinking about. I mean, we know it's not like one of the higher damage archetypes, so I was just thinking maybe, like you said, either they do some type of slight precision damage buff to make it like a high skill weapon, or maybe they add like an old school. I know this might be really OP, but add like an old school triple tap on it.
Dude, I want triple tap. I want that so bad.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm very curious about what they do with Darcy because it holds a lot. It would be cool to actually.
What is that? 20 now, I think total. Or
yeah, 22?
It's
like ridiculous. It's like the only sniper that holds that much. It's crazy.
But I miss my Irene, my Amalon Irene RR4 with triple tap.
No,
that was my sniper, man. And it didn't have that much aim assist, but I just love the way that little energy shot felt out of that sniper rifle.
So good. You wasn't a 1,000-yard stare guy, huh?
I was Irene forever because that was one of the first snipers I got, and I pretty much taught myself with that one. It had one of the lowest aim assists, so I mean that's just what I learned to live with. So
nice, that's a beautiful gun. That was from Banshee, right? Was that Gunsmith?
Yep.
Nice, I remember.
Got it from him. Yeah, I love that gun. That was one of my favorite. I used that for so many Nightfall videos because people would ask me all the time for my videos. It was like, man, what sniper is that? And I'd tell them, it's just my Irene. It's at the Gunsmith, and it came up a couple times. And I think later on, I eventually ended up getting like a second one that had something almost better than my first one, and I was about blown away. I'm actually trying to pull up my dim right now because it's always fun to go back and look and see. It's like what
those old trophies.
So I had triple tap. I had injection mold, so reduced range on a sniper. I don't care, but faster stability, faster handling, and increased stability. and mulligan. So if I miss a shot,
Yes.
it was my PvE greatness. I could just use
Nice.
it, and so I'd get that triple tap like almost every time. I don't think I was
Sweet.
ever without it. Yeah,
Sweet.
it was a favorite of mine for sure.
No doubt. Salute the Irenes out there.
Yep. Okay, so
So what
we
else we
come to
got?
our next giant topic, Crucible
Woo!
rankings. Here we go. And shout out Imtash did a nice little video. Saw his Crucible rankings. I think will benefit a lot. It'll give you a reason to go into competitive because
Yes.
hopefully the main idea here is if they match you up with people at your level of Crucible, it may take you a little longer, but you'll hopefully be really playing with the people you should be.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, man, this is cool. I mean, for the most part, we all know that competitive hasn't been getting a lot of love. A lot of people don't play it. I mean,
Yeah.
and now that they're making these changes, we'll see. I mean, we'll get into it. I have some suggestions as well as you dive into the description.
Yeah.
But let's get into what's changing.
So we've got Crucible ranks coming. You guys may have heard about them before, both Valor and Glory. So Crucible ranks first are going to be basically something to where showing how much you progressed either in Crucible in general, or for Glory, that's going to be the one where it's your true ranking. If you win, it goes up. If you lose, it goes down. And there's different levels. So this is mostly, I think the levels are going to be mainly for Glory. I know the number value for Valor is going to go up. And that one's
Yes.
going to be interesting because that one you can actually literally, like Call of Duty, you can prestige it. You can start it back over at 0.
Yeah.
So that one's interesting. I don't know what that's going to do, what rewards you're going to get if it's anything major, more like ornaments or something for Valor if it's its own set. That might be kind of cool. But, I mean, that's just as much as if you play a ton of Crucible and, you prestige it like 10 times, then, hey, you live in Crucible, congrats. You might get some cool looking stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Get show like a badge of honor as well. Like, so that's pretty cool.
And it's nice just to reward the people because before it was like, okay, I've lived in Crucible unless you go look them up on, like, unless you go look them up on the internet to be like, hey, how much have you played? Okay, you live in there apparently. That you have your own personal cot in the corner. All right, sweet. So yeah, Valor's kind of cool, but Glory is the one I think that is more exciting by far.
Glory.
As you guys can see on screen, there are Crucible ranks, and they are Guardian, Brave, Heroic, Fabled, Mythic, and Legend. Kind of like those titles; they're pretty solid.
Yeah, come on, it fits with the lore. Become legend.
Yep. So, with regards to those rankings, the big thing is as you progress through the ranks, you get something. The fact that you get anything, thank goodness.
Yes, please.
Are you shaving right now? What is that? Or is that the construction
Yeah,
behind you?
I told you I had to warn you they're doing work, so I apologize. I'll mute myself if it gets out of hand.
No, you're good. I just almost, it sounded like shaving because it was almost like perfect noise. So I was like,
Yeah,
"Brandon,
sorry
you got to
about
trim
that.
up for the morning. You're good.
I ain't getting my Guardian trim on it. They working
you
on
go.
this damn
Yeah.
apartment above me. So
Nah,
I
you're
gotta
good. You're
deal
good.
with it.
Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Things happen. So is life. But with the Crucible ranks, as you progress higher and higher, it's going to be harder and harder to get there. So once you get up to a certain point, especially I think the Fabled, Mythic, and Legend, you will have to actually continue playing to keep that rank. So you're going to slowly start to degrade if you don't play. So there's going to be win streak bonuses for both Glory and Valor. So if you get win streaks, you'll get your points a little bit faster in sequence. And then for Glory, the ranked one and the competitive matches, if you lose consistently, there's going to be a lose streak like deduction, which that's going to hurt. That's going to be painful.
Yeah, man. I mean that's cool though. I love it because at the end of the day, this is Bungie, right? This is Halo 2. This is the ranking system, right? So it was always, you had to maintain that status. And I know we're gonna get into decay and all that stuff later, but to me, that is really cool. Based on skill, you've got to maintain it. You can drop, you can go up. I'm loving this, man. This is gonna add so much life to the Crucible for the dedicated PvP guy. I'm loving where this is going. Continue, Ebontis.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you level up, you'll get things like Crucible tokens, Crucible engrams, Masterwork cores, just depending on how far in level. And that may be a reason if you're going through Valor and you're like, hey, competitive may not be my thing. There's a certain thing I want to go for. We'll get to that here in a little bit, which is really, really cool. But even if you're just going through Valor and you level up again, it's like, why would I prestige? Okay, there's actually a reason to keep getting rewards as you go through the ranks again. So I like the fact that they're definitely taking care of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, they cover Valor's just a progression, just showing basically how much time you've put into Crucible. So if you get like, a full 5 win streak, cool, you're going to get even more points, but it's never going to go down. Glory will go up and down with kills, win streaks, loss streaks, all of those will affect it. Basically, get good. And
Get good, man. Let's go.
honestly, that's one of those things, and again, some people may crucify us for saying this, but I think we're probably on the same page. Not everyone should be able to get everything in the game.
Right.
And that works for life in general. But
Hey, that's what it's got to be. Are you referencing said reward that got everyone up in a tizzy?
I can't
That
quite imagine what I'm talking about, but yeah, go ahead and take it away, sir.
let's get to it, man. That Redrix Claymore, man, with that Desperado perk, that gun looks sick. And I got to keep it real. I'm a PvP player. I don't know if I'm gonna get that glory ranking, you know. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that you strive for. One of those things that you play the game. That it's like, okay, you know what? I'm trying very, very hard to get this thing. I'm going to try to, like, same thing with trials. I'm going to try. If I do, I do. But if I don't, and I see someone with it, it's like, you know what, man, you know what? That guy he's a beast. He earned it, you know? So you got that's what it's about. At the end of the day, you've got to reward that skill gap and give people something to chase for.
Yep.
And get good.
Absolutely. And yeah, so this Redrix Claymore, it's a pulse rifle. The unique perk is Desperado. So it's got Outlaw, which when you reload, what is Outlaw? It's like when you get a kill, it's faster reload, right? So now with Desperado, when you use Outlaw and reload, its fire rate increases. Now it's a slower fire rate pulse rifle. Now normally when fire rate increases, whenever that happens, damage falls on account of it. Usually because they feel like they have to balance it out. This time, nope. So you're going to have a high-hitting pulse rifle that now fires faster. It's going to hurt. And if I'm on the other end of that, I'm going to be like, yep, there it is again.
Dude, that's scary.
And to be wipe me
I'm
out.
even thinking about how useful that's going to be in PvE.
That's another one, yeah. If you get a quick kill on a thrall, reload, and then you go start pumping damage into something, like, yeah. If you can get some good, like, bounce back and forth between a couple low-level enemies, depending on how long Desperado lasts. I probably should look in all the YouTube videos that are out there and actually probably pay attention. But however long it lasts, yeah, it's going to be doing some quick work with whatever you're facing.
Absolutely.
But I like the idea they're making something, and this is Season 3 only. So for one, it's limited for Season 3.
Limited time only, man. Get it while it's hot.
I was like, you got till probably September. I mean, I'm guessing that's what Season 3 qualifies as. But that's it. Now, basically the way they describe the ranks, we'll scroll back up so you can see them. Guardian, Brave, Heroic. This drops at Fabled. So, the way it's broken up, they say about 40% of the people will get to this rank. So, less than half. You're already good. So that's already something that is not going to be... I mean, if you're a casual and have potato aim... And I'm not saying anybody does or doesn't. What are you cracking up at potato aim? I feel like that's just one of those phrases I've heard and it stuck with me. Believe me, I'm one of those at some points. I'm like, wow, I can't hit the broadside of a barn. But it's like, but if you're still in there having fun, working on Valor, working your way up slowly in ranking, you're working on your skill. And if you don't get there, you know what? That's okay. Still work on you. Everything takes practice, and literally practice, you will get better. If you put in the time and start working your way up, that is something you can work on achieving. It's not impossible, but again, it's not meant for everybody, and the people who are good deserve to be rewarded. And then they take that to the next level. I don't know what Mythic is going to do. I'm hoping something. They haven't exactly talked about that yet. But Legend status is going to probably be your 1% elites. That's what I mean, it's going to be elite. And the ornament for the Redrix Claymore only comes from Legend status. So that's going to be rough to get.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy. And at the end of the day, like, I love it. It's give these guys whoever that puts that work and that dedication to get to that level of skill should be rewarded with something that is very potent. And I'm dying to see also what the ornament's going to look for Redrix when you get higher, and what the other secret, rewards are. Like, this is a great direction. I'm absolutely loving this. This reminds me of Trials. This reminds me of getting those adept weapons. Remember that? They
Yep,
had snapshots and stuff like
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
This is what Destiny needs. It's that chase. And another part of Destiny, which is huge, is again, it's like I remember going into the tower for the first time and seeing a Guardian in full Trials gear. And
Oh,
I'm
when it
like,
had the full ornaments on it, when they finally put those on there, like the glowing
looking
wings
very
on the back.
Osiris like.
Man, yeah.
And I remember the jealousy. But you need that. You need that in this. You
But it was
need to
also,
be
it was like, and it was Trials. It was like, and Trials, I have never been a Trials king by any means. So I just see that and be like, that's awesome. And I'm probably not going to get it, but I mean, I'm okay with it.
And for the guy that worked hard, it was a badge of honor, right?
Absolutely.
You knew, like, he had those trial ornaments, he had whatever he had. You knew that those guys were beasts. So it was like respect. You gave I gave my little bow as I approached him in the tower, and I kept it moving.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a sign of respect. It's skill to get there. You have to earn it. And that's one of those reasons why I've kind of enjoyed the more difficult games, is because when you get to Fabled, you're going to get that sense of like accomplishment. It's not just like, here's a random public event, take this exotic, yay. Like, absolutely zero emotion, monotone, I don't care. And that's the thing a lot of people got to in this game, and I think that's what they're working on, is people want to care again about the stuff they get. We've got exotics thrown at us. You can be high, you can be max level without doing the end game stuff. And the story, you could literally skip half the enemies and not die. I mean, it's not a difficult game. It's really not. Never has been. So I don't know. I'm just glad to see all of this, and I'm glad to see what I'm waiting for, and I think Dado said it too. I just want the PvE equivalent.
Yes, absolutely. To give the PVIs, it's only right, in fairness, to give them something to chase.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, right now you've got random cosmetics from strikes, and you have 3 guns. Hopefully that will be changing. I'd love to see something like, hey, it's like if you're, in the top 100 in Nightfall scores, or maybe, I don't even know how many, but that sounds like there'd be a lot. But so you do like a Nightfall score, or you've got, say there's a raid prestige boss you've got to kill and you get a chance. I mean, there's some of that stuff, but as long as they start balancing that out with PvE and come the fall, then we're bouncing on both sides, and this is starting to look really good.
Absolutely.
So they say for moving up in ranks, covered all that. You've got armor ornaments, you've got emblems, you've got. I'm so tired of emblems, but that's fine. I see that in there, and I'm like,
you're not excited for emblems.
I was like, it's okay if they look fancy. If they had like animated neon light up sign emblems, maybe. But I mean, like, give me something a little crazy. But new weapons that will require players to earn both valor and glory. So even if you're like good, you still might have to put some more time in. Players receive glory packages only the first time a new rank is reached in each season. So if you lose a match and drop a rank, you won't receive another match. So there's no point in bouncing up and down, which is good. They, people aren't going to milk it that way. But yeah, Redrix Flame War sounds pretty awesome. Desperado and Outlaw, I don't even know. It's just going to be nuts. And then if you kill somebody with Desperado, I'm literally thinking, they just said it right here, running indefinitely. Get a headshot kill, reload it again, Desperado's back, and keep going. It's like, oh god.
that it's going to be deadly, man. In the right hands, a skilled hand.
And pulse rifles feel pretty good right now too. They're in a good spot. So I'm kind of liking they picked that one, because like auto rifles are just steady. Hand cannons, people use them forever, but incentive to use a pulse, I'm kind of digging that, because it's what I would say between D1 and D2 that has been, they've had their moments, but I don't think they've been usually ultra high. There was a moment for Red Death where it was pretty good. But pulse rifles haven't, I don't think, seen the overall love. I'm kind of glad to see them getting a little bit here. It's nice.
Absolutely.
So for your rankings, you can earn your valor within Quick Play, Rumble, and Mayhem. So kind of your weekly playlists in Quick Play. But they're leaving out Iron Banner and Trials because those are going to be your own things. They've got their
Right.
own
They're gonna
weapon,
separate
they got
that.
their own sets, they got all their own things in them, their own rankings, all those things are there. So
Hmm.
separating those, which is fine. They got their own vendors anyway. Shax will take care of this stuff, I think. And then Glory only comes from competitive. So you're going to have to jump in that competitive playlist. You're going to have to basically get in there for the countdowns and get in there for those other types of modes that not everybody does, but hopefully if more people jump in, the player base will get a little boost so you're not playing against ridiculous people all the time.
Hmm.
And matchmaking may take a little longer. I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it, man.
Yeah, I was like, now if they could ever do background matchmaking, like if I could go run around EDZ, like go to Crucible and kind of queue it up and have a little thing in the corner that says, hey, you'll be loading in here in 5 seconds. Do you want to go? Sure. Or if I'm in something, that would be a great thing for them to add. And I heard somebody say that, probably Dado as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so background matchmaking while you're doing other things, that would be amazing. Because you always just have to sit there and wait.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
If you could do that, if you did that for like guided games, that would help. I mean, guided games needs a lot of help, but that background matchmaking would help a lot. So be like, hey, I'm at least just going to run around and shoot stuff, or I'm going to wander around the tower and look at things, not just I'm going to sit here and stare at my screen for 20 minutes and wait. If you can do other things, that would help a ton. So
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Why should you keep earning glory every week? So this is where we
Yes.
start talking about the player decay. Do you want to jump in and take this one?
Yeah, man. So pretty much what they're basically saying is each week glory rank will change depending on the number of games played, maxing out at 3 games per week. Players ranked fabled and below will earn bonus glory rank points each week. For players ranked mythic and legend, each match completed will reduce the amount of glory rank decay up to preventing the decay for the week. This means if you're a player in the mythic or legend, you need to hop in the competitive playlist at least 3 times a week to maintain your status. Then it goes on into, will matchmaking be based on glory ranks in the competitive playlist? Competitive playlist will be, they're shaving again, I apologize. We'll be using our existing matchmaking system. At the start of season 3, we're going to reset the skill bucket and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to let you take over because they get on my nerves.
You're good.
But
You're good.
at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to play so that you can maintain your ranking. That's number one. And then as far as this matchmaking, as far as the glory and stuff like that, it means whether you win or lose, your skill and rank will go up and down accordingly. So this is kind of, again, that Halo 2 system that we were talking about. And as always, we've never done, they're going to be reiterating, improving the systems so that you have time to sink your teeth into the ranks. They'd love to hear your feedback. So I like the fact that it's still not definitive. They're going to evolve it based on the feedback we give them. But I like the fact that it requires activity. You have to continually play to maintain that rank. You just can't like get there and sit.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
You know what I'm
can't
saying?
just
Like,
sit on the throne and have people come at you and be like, "No, I'm not playing. I'm good."
exactly. You're gonna have to continually maintain and earn that rank, and I like that. This is really cool. It's a hardcore separator. I think it's dope. I'm all about it, man.
Yeah.
What do
There's
you
only
think?
one line. It says each week your glory will change depending on the number of games you played. Then it says maxing out at 3 games a week. I'm not sure that's right. Why would 3 games a week be all that you like if you to determine your glory? Like if you played 20 matches in a week, you lost your first 3, but then you won your next 17. That would kind of suck. So I don't know if that's like a typo or something. I'm kind of hoping it is. It seems a little off. But the idea of like decay, you got to play 3 matches a week, and if you know you're having an off week, you might get dropped down a little bit. But you know if you have 3 solid games, then maybe I think maybe minimum of 3 games a week might be the idea of that sentence there. But who knows?
That's a good point.
But I like the idea. It's like you can't just sit at the top and milk it. You got to kind of stick with it. It's incentive to come back and even just play on Tuesday for a little bit, get your 3 matches in. It's still some reason to log in. And
Exactly.
that's the hobby thing they've gone back to. Give us a
Let's
reason.
be real. Yeah, let's be real. This helps promote engagement for Destiny. This is what's been lacking, right?
Yep.
That reason that after the reset, you know, you need another reason to keep coming, and this is one of those things that adds to it, and I love it.
Yep. So yeah, I'm digging that one. Matchmaking based on glory ranks in the competitive playlist. It will be using our existing matchmaking system. At the start of Season 3, we're going to reset the skill bucket in competitive to give every player an equal start. as they begin to climb. So that's a good thing. At least it'll be fresh. So if I'm sucking it up and I'm in the bottom tier, well, at least I'll be there with the rest of you guys. That's fine. I'm not definitely gonna be jumping up into Mythic or Legend straight away. That's for sure. Competitive is a different animal, man. Those guys are. Whew.
That's sweat, baby. That's sweat.
Oh yeah, sweat. And I got a whole lot. I got so much salt in my eyes I can't see.
Exactly.
But yeah, as you guys win or lose, hopefully it'll be based on your recent skill. So whether you started low and you're worried about jumping in at kind of a lower level, get a fresh start. Go in there. And the idea, like, if you feel like you don't want to skew yourself too far, don't try and go into competitive your first time you're going in for your skill sets with, like, your two most skilled friends in the world. Pick your average friends, go in there, figure out where you should be, and you're probably going to enjoy it more.
Good point. Good point, because it will be skill-based. It'll be elo-based. Yep, that's a very good point.
I mean, if
and I did hear they're making some changes, not changes, but they also, because a lot of concern and rumbling I've been hearing on the interwebs in reference to this. Obviously there's going to be some crying, oh, I have to get, I can't get the redux.
Everybody wants their participation medal. Stop that.
Exactly.
God, I hate
Stop
that.
crying.
Anyways.
Get good.
Yep.
The second thing I've been hearing is, well, what about solo play? Like, if I'm a solo player and I'm playing with blueberries,
yes.
What are chances, and apparently I believe one of the PvP designers jumped in front of it and said that
below, actually, you're one step ahead of me.
I'm already one step ahead. So I'm gonna let you go right in. Go right in, baby.
No, we'll get there. But that's a huge piece. So hold that thought. We will get down to it.
Absolutely.
But for those who want to say too long didn't read or too long give me bullets, Valor caps at 20,000 points. Features a win streak bonus, no lose streak bonus. It'll be reset when you complete, so you can keep going through it as many times as you can. Got ornaments, emblems, weapons. You might have emblem varieties. Maybe if you do it 10 times, you get a really cool looking emblem. And if it looks kind of awesome on the end, I might be playing a little more. Again, incentive to stay in it.
Exactly.
Requires a fixed number of Valor resets to earn some rewards. You might have to do it like 4 or 5 times to get, say, a weapon, or number 10 for the awesome. So the idea, there's going to be incentive to keep doing it.
Right. And what I like is that Valor's getting their own ornaments, emblems, and rewards as well. Yeah. So just for the time dedication, that is being rewarded. Because obviously, the people with glory, they're going to be getting some hotness, no doubt. But at least the Valor guys are getting something, right? Just for that time.
I mean, if you love Mayhem and you love Rumble and Quick Play and just playing those and getting in the mix, it's like you're still going to get some shows out of it. You're going to get some unique stuff from it. And for the guys who live in Glory, they're going to have a different set of stuff. So, I mean, they're not going to get Valor from those competitive matches. They're going to have to go into both. So sometimes you'll be playing against the Sweaties. Sometimes the Glory will be kind of having its own feel. So it'll actually kind of split some of the competitive people while they're grinding out. As well. So, and I think that'll be good.
Absolutely.
So Glory, on the other hand, as we said, it caps out at 5,500 points, which I have no idea how they're going to work. So that sounds like a big number, though. Features win streak bonuses and loss streak penalties for recurring losses. You can earn bonus rank points or fend off decay by completing at least 3 competitive matches each week. So at least 3. That seems to make sense.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, resets each season, but just once. I mean, it's just going to be your ongoing thing during the season. Same thing, ornaments, emblems, and weapon rewards. We know the exclusive weapon at level Fable, which is the 40 difficulty, and then the ornament is at legend level. So that one's the really cool one. So they said, how are you going to make sure everyone plays fair in the ranked environment? Update to 1.2 will have more security systems, things like that. Hopefully less, DDoS things. We know competitive gets sweaty. People find any way they can, but Bungie tries to be as secure as possible. And that's one thing I will say is, like, if you ever want to have a secure, go play Battle. Go on PC. I mean, Battle.net's as secure as you can probably hope for. Between most things, they got it pretty locked down. So that'll help a little bit if you're looking for a different platform, but they're trying to do everything they can. And it's always a work in progress. Even when the people went out to the community summit, they're like, yeah, we're doing security. We're not going to talk about it, moving on. Like, they're making changes, but they're not going to tell you what they are. That's the whole point.
Absolutely.
So here's where you were talking about worthy opponents. So they're working on some under-the-hood changes for solo players. There's other games where if you pair up with, say it's 3 solo players and a team of 3 on a 6-man game, well, the other side's going to hopefully get matched up with the same thing. Now, it may take you a little while to get matched, but you're going to have a more even pairing 3 people that might be running as a team, and you're like, okay, those 3 look coordinated, and the other 3 are off doing who knows what. But at least you're in the same boat. So if you're going against a team of 4 or 6 or 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, like, you're gonna be similarly paired up, hopefully. So they're gonna try at least to improve it. It always seems to be a work in progress. It's a moving target all the time.
Right.
But they said basically players in fire teams have substantial advantages. If you don't think they do, you are crazy. There's no way I'm going to run into 4 random people and I see 4 people on another clan. Just the fact that you can communicate verbally, especially if you're playing together, it's likely you planned it. And you can say, hey, they're coming back. I see somebody coming here. Meet me on this point. Just that verbal communication as opposed to even just waiting for the radar or control points to do their thing. You're so far behind all the time. So what they're working on doing is instead of using your normal skill value in a fire team, so if you're on a normal, control match of quick play, there's 4 people, they're going to use a modified value that takes your fire team size into account. So if you are in a larger fire team, the larger the potential modification. So we don't want to try and completely nullify the benefit of playing in a team.
Smart.
So it's kind of a balance. And they said their initial values are conservative, but hopefully it kind of leads you. So what is it like? If your skill level of the team of the people you're with, if your skill level's reasonable, you're going to probably have a higher skill matching, even if you're playing against some randoms that are better than you. You're running as a team, so your skill's going to kind of be matched. If your solo's at a lower level, you're probably going to be even farther down the totem pole of matchmaking. So it's a little more separation between teams and solos. And if you are solo, but you're a higher skill, then you might start facing those like medium teams. It's kind of a way to balance that out. I like it. I like it. I'll be kind of curious to see how much it's in effect, how much it feels like it's in play. And again, these are the changes. You can read about them, but you never know until you get your hands on them.
Absolutely.
I don't know. What do you think on this one? I know you were jumping in there, so I want to let you get your thoughts on it.
No, I think this is really cool. I'm just, listen, we have to see how all this stuff is implemented, right? Before we can make final calls on it. But at the end of the day, the fact that they're even thinking about the solo player is a huge thing because prior to that, let's be real, like Bungie's PvP, they didn't really care not they didn't care, but they never had any algorithms in account for the single player.
Yep.
So I think that is huge, especially, let's be honest, it's going to get sweaty. Everybody's going to be in that damn glory playlist.
Oh, it's going to get rough.
Everybody's going to want that redux, it's going to get sweaty. It's going to be solos in there, and guys going to try to get it popping. And, it's going to, at least they have something in place to try to help those guys out. I think that's very cool. Just me personally.
No, it's like, I like to see it. Just the acknowledgement alone is the fact that they're finally seeing it's an issue. And there's enough other games out there. I mean, you got your buddies over at Blizzard. They do Overwatch. And that's where, you play Overwatch and you literally see who's in a team, who's not. You even used to see it in Destiny. You used to see, okay, so there's a little black bar, and it was a chunk of, those 4 are together in this. And if you saw, you were on the team of 6 and the other 6 are together, you're like, oh, crap. I was like, they noticed it then, but they never did anything about it. So I'm glad they're actually trying to make it better so you have a better experience.
Exactly, and acknowledging it. That's a huge deal.
I mean, if you're a crafty or you're an MTAST, you're one of those beast mode guys, and you go in, your skill level's going to be up there. So if you go in random solo, you're paired with a team, you're still going to have that skill that balances it out some. If you're your average Joe from wherever and you're like, I'm somewhere in the middle and I'm playing solo, you're going to probably be bumped down per se. You probably won't even be bumped down, but those guys are going to be bumped up hopefully a little farther from you. So odds are you're just less chances to go face a solid team.
Exactly.
So it makes sense. It just does. You're playing against a team and you're by yourself. It's just a rough day. And you can usually tell the solos versus the teams. You run around a corner, you're like, oh crap, there's 3 people, I'm dead. It's so obvious when they're running well, especially when you start trying to go to points, and then every time you see you see your radar, you're like, I don't know how many it is, and 3 come around the corner, you're like, boom, done. And it's like, you can't win. So it's not like you see dots on your radar, you see a color, and you just get to see what comes around the corner.
And then you hear Shaq say, I've had enough.
I've had enough. I'm going to mercy.
I'm calling this.
Yeah, I wish there was a point where I honestly, I wish there was a point where if I was in a match, I was like, can I opt in for Mercy? Can you do this faster? Because there's moments here like this is just done. It's like, give them the W. They got this. I'm going to go ahead and put one in the loss column and I'm out.
Absolutely.
So, well, as they said, Iron Banner is running straight back into it. So next week we've got Iron Banner for the last time. So nice little quick run.
6v6, baby. It was fantastic.
I was gonna say 6v6 Iron Banner. Give me your thoughts, man.
Love it, man. Love it. And to be honest, it's at the point now. It feels so good. It feels so like D1 that I'm like, we may have to go 6v6 across the board, guys. Like, I don't like. Part of me now is like, I love it so much, and yes, it makes Iron Banner special. But it's like I need to have a 6v6 mode when Iron Banner is not around. Like, I need this. I don't know, man.
Well, we still don't have Rift. I want that back.
Yeah.
That's like, I think that would be another good like objective mode.
Yeah.
But I think 6 players would be the right way to do it. I think 4 would be too small for Rift. I think you have to do a minimum of 6 on Rift. So maybe that's a way they kind of work that one back. And we're not going to get a game mode for this one, but maybe in the fall we get a new Crucible mode. We'll see. There's some new mode, man. Have you heard that? No, just for the fall or whatever.
Oh yeah.
From the Destiny. Okay, so for this is just a little tidbit aside here. From the Destiny Community Summit, most people so far have only been able to say how they felt about the event. They could say, "Hey, we asked this question. Hey, we asked this question." They gave answers, but they can't say what. But the big like kind of news piece is there is a new mode, and it's not what's coming out with Warmind. That's separate. That's kind of like a public event thing. We'll get there in a little bit. But there's a new mode different from anything else in Destiny
that's ever been in Destiny.
Yeah, and I was like, what is? And everybody was just like, just strapped to the chair. No one wanted to stop playing that. I can't get my head wrapped around what it could. I
still can't get my head wrapped around what it could possibly be.
I mean, how much can you do in a shooter? Like,
yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe. I know back in the day, when we used to do ILP back in the day, we always talked about maybe like a PvE and PvP mode mix, kind of like what Halo does, like a Warzone.
See, that is what I've been waiting on for a while. I would love that.
So I'm thinking, these are my guesses. It's some type of PvP, PvE combo Warzone kind of a deal. Or, don't laugh.
No,
it would
believe
be
me.
Funny if this is it. But the second thing is just me being ridiculous. But hey, you never know.
By all means.
The second one, what if it's a battle royal mode?
I mean, no one's gonna admit that until it's actually officially announced. Now,
right. And this is Activision at the helm.
Yeah,
we know that Call of Duty
might be doing that.
There's a strong rumor that they're having that rolled in.
I said it's not confirmed.
We all know the success of Fortnite.
It's slightly popular everywhere. I was listening to a podcast and they're like, we have Twitch here. It was at a strip club. I about fell out of my car because I was driving listening to it, but I was like, are you kidding me? And they're like, what do you think is happening? Are they just like watching Fortnite streams? Like, wow, like, is that like a sports TV thing? Or do they have the ladies playing? I was like, I don't know. Either way, it's crazy. Who knows? Like, but it's like, yeah, it's slightly popular. So, I mean, the Battle Royale is pretty much what everybody thinks E3 is going to be. Hey, here's your new game with its Battle Royale mode. And then this new game with Battle Royale mode.
Extra
Last
funky
of Us
mode.
with Battle Royale mode. You've got Red Dead Redemption with Battle Royale. Like, that's what people are, like, going to get tired of hearing, I'm sure. Yeah. But, no, I think Warzone would be probably the best thing. Because the game has both PvE and PvP to it. So if you had something to where there's a giant ogre I mean, it kind of has the feel of, I don't know if you've ever watched or seen Dota at all.
I've seen it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you've got a little bit of elements in there because you have some PvE elements on the map, some kind of major bosses that give you a big swing in either points or give you a big power boost at a time when you kill it. But again, it's still an open field to where you've got to, you can get ransacked while you're doing it. So you still have to defend yourself while working on PvE targets. And I think combining both of those is what this game has been lacking.
I agree.
So, I mean, that's where it's like when it comes to faction wars, if you can have open world PvP, That's the type of stuff that would start making it interesting. So if you have a mode like that, a giant map, please, that would be probably
That'd be dope.
that would be my wish. Battle Royale, oh my god, the number of supers that would be flying around would be absolutely insane. Can you imagine, like, what do you think? So you got 50 Void Warlocks versus 50 Hammer Titans, and you just throw your supers at the same time and just break the game with particle effects.
It would be nuts. I don't even know how they would implement that in a game like Destiny.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I was like, it would be insane. I don't know if they could do it, but
yeah, I don't know if the engine kind of lends
I think that might be the biggest thing. It's just the
I
systems involved, because Battle Royale's on the front end. I know there's a lot going on in program. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it doesn't have the complicated like systems that Destiny does going on. It just doesn't. It's got fairly simple weapons and things to that regard. They're not calculating quite as much with range perks and modifiers, and everything's fairly set. So, yeah, for me, Warzone would be kind of amazing. That's my wish. Cool. That's my dream. So, and if it ever made it in there, I would probably. And that the one, because I think Mark on Guardian Radio, I listened to him, and he basically said, when this comes out, this is my mode of choice. I'm like,
yo, that's a huge game. What is it? And what's cool about what we've heard about it so far is everybody has universally said this mode is amazing.
Yeah,
like every single person, it was the consensus mode that everyone talked about, right? Yeah. Crazy, man.
And this is coming from the same group of people, and this is the idea as well, and this is why I think the Community Summit was a great thing from what I've heard from multiple sources. There is some idea they brought out to the group and saying, hey, we're thinking about this. And basically, unanimously, they said, I don't think so.
That.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's not gonna be what you want. And that was kind of one of their like bigger. So they went back. It was on the first of the 2 days. Came back the second day, and they're like, well, what about this? And they're like, that's headed better in the right direction. Like some major thing that was going to be coming out. Most of the community like fairly well represented. I mean, not everybody's there, but it's a good cross section of people. Basically said, yeah, trash that. Before it came out and saved us like 6 months to a year of being like, oh, we're stuck with this, really. Those are the type of things why I think that's going to serve them well, and hopefully they do it again. So,
and to be honest,
can I throw our names in that second hat, please?
Exactly. Please get Flashpoint up in the building, please. Dude, I can't even understate like what you just said, because the old regime, let's just say, would have never done anything like that. Yeah. And the fact, part of me is like curious to know what was presented. I know it's going to come out eventually, you know what I mean? But it's just like curious, like what was presented that was actually shot down. But the fact that they humbled themselves the next day and said, okay, we took your feedback. You don't like this. This is what we have instead. And then everybody says, yes, this is what we're talking about. So to me, these are all positive signs. And I'm really optimistic. I know we've been doom and gloom for months. We've been just seeing this thing like, can it come around? Can it come around? And for the most part, we were worried. We just like, I don't know, you know? It for the first time, like, I got that glimmer. Got the glimmer in my eye.
Yeah.
I might be able to see it. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because shout out to Dado, you know, and I believe, who else I was talking about? Miss 5,000 Watts. You know, they still have to deliver, right? You can take all this feedback, but if you don't implement it, you don't act on it.
Yes.
Then it doesn't do anything. But the fact that they're being so transparent, the fact that people are impressed, really impressed with what they're seeing with September, gives me a lot of hope. And I got a nice little feel. I'm feeling upbeat. I'm feeling positive that maybe, just maybe, Destiny could come back.
I was like, it's got a shot, and I think it's again, we've been saying building blocks for a while. These are starting to be some substantial building blocks we're looking at. So, kind of like what we're hearing. They've got some stuff about errors and things in the weekly update, and they've got some videos ran out of medals, some good stuff in there. So, apparently some dude was working hard on the Nightfall top scores. Arms deal, you got Johnny Hopkins in number 1 and number 2. He got 2 sets of people together trying to max it out. If you guys want some Twitter backgrounds, by the way, thank you, Bungie. Our team crushing it. They just provided them for you. Free banners. Go nuts. Looking good.
That's right.
So spend your time. Enjoy what you got. But we had just a little more to talk about when it comes to just the reveal stream. So I know we covered the Bungie weekly update. And so they covered 3 main things. First, basically just a little bit with the story and the expansion. So we've got Anna Bray.
Yes.
So she is real, which the rumors on that piece were true.
With cybernetic eyes.
Those are awesome, by the way.
That's very cool.
I want to watch that video in 4K and teach that screenshot of her eyes and just be like, I don't know, you could use that as a picture wall. It's crazy. But yeah, her eyes are awesome. Apparently they work like machines. But you see her, she's going to be your main vendor, basically your NPC on Mars. And it is Mars. Now, it's the northern part of Mars. You can see the ice caps are there, but there's still some desert up there, but it's going to be cold. We see Hive that are covered in ice, basically. It's a bit chilly.
Cold, snowy Hive. Chilly Hive.
Chili buns there. So.
I'm a little low-key disappointed. I ain't got a lot of you. We'll continue. We'll continue with our presence.
If that's the enemy type, then yeah, I was like, those are still the Hive. So I don't think they quite get new enemy type. So
yeah.
I mean, did they say it or am I crazy? Why did I think that was?
I think what maybe some of the leaks were, the fake leaks said that.
Yeah, the fake leaks were saying that.
So we may have assumed.
Just getting our hopes
But
up.
everybody was shocked that it was high, right?
I didn't think it was high. I don't even know what I expected it to be, but I guess Hive is an option.
Yep.
So we had a reveal about her. So, I mean, she's going to be your vendor. Her background's pretty cool. You guys can watch the video stream. It's fine. Watch the trailer. It's pretty cool. So that's there. Then we had all the talk about Crucible and the exotic changes. We got to see Skyburner's Oath in action, Hard Light, and we've seen those before, so that's the other one. The final piece that we got to see, which the Destiny Community Summit got to see, is the Hive Escalation Protocol.
Yes.
So, first off, you pretty much have to complete the campaign to even be able to activate this thing. So it's not just a random public event you're going to see on Mars. And secondly, it's towards the end game level. Now, the stream, they showed, basically, they were high-level characters. They wanted to at least show you guys the activity, not be dying all the time. But when the Twitch people went out, they were, mid, low-level characters, and they said it was rough. It was a struggle. So, I don't know. From what you've seen about it, what do you think?
I get the feel of a classic horde mode. I like that the bosses rotate, so that kind of gave me like a Court of Oryx kind of feel.
Yep.
I like that it's a 6-player activity, right? I believe it's 6.
Well, it's 3, but it's public, so you can have more people join.
Oh, okay. So it's that whole deal again. Whatever.
Still there.
Yeah, which is stupid. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's like, can we get some type of 6-player patrol activity?
Yeah, that'd be nice, right?
Yeah, like, come on now. But I mean, it seems cool. I just like that my main appeal to it was the grind for the weapons, and that it was almost like strike specific loot per boss and different things. And I'm a little biased with this because I'm such a fan of the sleeper stimulant, right? Like that's my baby. Like people love Galley, but sleeper was my thing. I live and died by that gun. It really came out of my heavy slot, back in the day.
Yep.
So just to see the theme of all of these weapons in that vein, it's cool and giving me hope that maybe there's some type of secret quest, an exotic quest, you know what I'm saying, for a sleeper. So I'm just praying, 'cause that's one of my favorite exotics of all time. And yeah, man. So I mean, I like the weapon grind aspect of it. I like that it's difficult, and that they're adding a weekly thing. So we'll see. I mean, I don't want to trash it just yet, but to me, it seems like a better version of Court of Oryx, a little horde mode of what was that one? What was it? The Forge?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Forge and Oryx mixed a little bit, but I like the weapon. I like that they've added almost strike specific loot, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's more stuff to grind for. I hope they have some of their own perks to it as well. And I think some of them I've seen they might have a little bit to it, but if I'm going to go for something, I don't want just another auto rifle in this 330 or whatever category. You got to make some of the stuff distinct, and they've really got to start making that. I know they're working on fall with weapon randomization slots and all that stuff, but to make the stuff right now matter, you got to give us a reason to go for these different bosses to kill, go for the grind. Like, is it this week
Right.
again? Okay, I need to fight this boss. It's like it's actually in there, but it need to be a reason for me to log in, not just to
Exactly.
tick off a
And from
checkbox.
what I'm hearing, shout out to Miss 5001, she has a great video up, is that a lot of these weapons are very cool. She talked about the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looked like a little sleeper similar shotgun.
Yep.
There was also like a submachine that had like a perk. I think Mason Sean had a video out where pretty much like if you burst the shield of somebody with the sub, then you get double precision damage with your kinetic if you switch over.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm seeing cool unique perks, powerful weapons. People are saying that these weapons, Warmind kind of exclusive weapons through escalation mode, are very good. So that I like because again, if you're doing end game content, you want to be rewarded with good stuff, and that was the problem with the Leviathan stuff, and earlier with the prestige raid weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't that grind, that carrot that made you say, okay, I want to do this activity because I want this weapon, that kind of a deal. So I'm hopeful. I'm not gonna get over the top with it, but I mean, for the grind, I'm doing it. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
I will be doing it.
So I mean, it'll give you some, and even if it's like one more thing just to do for the week, it is one more thing to do for at least 5 weeks. And there's 5 bosses, so that'll be cool. We actually get a relic back. Looks like, who am I trying to think? Who's the New Orleans Marvel guy? Gambit. They take like a Gambit staff and not purple, but it's solar energy. Throw it and explode it.
Yes.
Like it looks pretty cool. Just fun to see a relic back. They're always fun to use. Just kind of
the sword. Let's not forget our Hive swords are coming back.
Hive swords coming back too. Yep, almost forgot about that one. I mean, we got some good stuff. So I mean, I'm kind of digging everything so far with cautious optimism.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, cautious optimism. To me, based like I said, no disrespect to the stream. Listen, when Destiny comes out with new content, the marketing team's gonna knock it out the park. We've been burnt by Osiris. We know that. I get it. But to me,
we got a planet. We got sparrows.
Exactly. We got sparrows.
That means
it's as big as Titan.
Yep.
It's good. Not a big circle like Osiris, like a Mercury. You know what I mean? But to be honest, to me, it's all about these new systems that they've added. It's all about Masterworks for me. It's all about Crucible ranking. It's all I'm so happy we're getting new DLC, new story missions, new strikes, yada yada, new raid layer. Great. But to me, the systems are really what's exciting me the most. I'm going to do the story. I'm going to do all that stuff. But I can't wait to start my chase for what's the, exotic masterwork for, whatever sweet business or whatever gun it is, and just keep that grind going. That excites me. That's the stuff that I look forward to logging into Destiny 2 every day. That mystery, that intrigue, when the community comes together and tries to figure out, okay, how do we get this? Remember the days of the sleeper simulant?
Oh my god, that was ridiculous. No, Orbital Prime was ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Remember Orbital Prime? Oh man, it is so many things like that, and I just remember fond memories of the community just sitting there. Okay, how do you do it? What do you do? Okay, this day you can only get the black spindle on. You know what I mean? Like it was just so many cool moments. And these are the things that made Destiny to me. Even little things like the Crutch of Crota dropping, right? Which had its own crest line that go into the whole other stuff for the Necrochasm and things like that. The mystery of Destiny, that's what Destiny's built on, And to have that kind of stuff back, even in a smaller form with Exotic Masterworks, is very exciting. And the last thing I want to say is that being that I didn't think they would go the extra mile with Exotic Masterworks the way they are. Now I'm even more confident for Exotic Masterwork armor to see what they do with that.
See, that's the summertime question mark because these are looking good. Bounties, Exotic Masterworks, but man, for me, it's the armor. The weapons seem like they will be game changers to a point of hopefully a hard decision. But your play style changes are what come from the armor.
Yes,
and that's the ones I want to see what they do. They've got to make them special. They've got to crank. They've got to crank all those up to 11.
They got to crank those up, man. There's so many items that I have in my vault, and I'm like, if they would just bump up and buff the utility, there's these warlock boots, lunifications. And I'm like, you know, in theory, it should act like a kind of like a Titan barricade
Yeah.
with the reloading and stuff like that. It just the functionality is just not there. So they just this. I'm very hopeful now that because they're going so much the extra mile with exotic weapons, I'm getting a little confident. Like, yo, they might do it, man. They might get the armor right. You know what I'm saying? And really bump those bad boys up. And then what if they do the same thing? What if they add an extra perk with a catalyst? Dude.
See, okay.
I
No.
I got the mind
No.
going. Long point.
You got me thinking. No, the big thing for me on the armor, while exotic masterworks can be cool,
Mhm.
they need to rework the armor system to me before that to ever matter.
Okay, what do you want? What do you want? Define rework.
Stats don't matter much.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, that's the stuff I want to see. Like, I know they talked about mobility a little bit, and they're working on the technical pieces. But you got resilience, you've got recovery as well. But it's all the things of like, hey, when I pick up a piece of armor, it's like, and Mesa Sean said this too. He's like, I wanted the Warlock helm from King's Fall because it had grenade reload speed and
Yes.
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the type of perks I want to see again. I want to pick up armor and have it change my character. It's like the mods are working on it, and those I know they're working on redoing, but mods, that's why people are like, hey, are mods just going to be like weapon randomization? But I was like, don't forget about the armor. The armor needs some huge help, and if it's going to be 2 mod slots in there so you actually can start changing more, the mods matter more. Those are the pieces that I need armor. The exotic masterworks hopefully will make like some of that good, but I still have 4 other slots that are kind of meh. So I'll wear 1, and hopefully that's a game changer. But I want the rest of my armor to be good too, and that's where I'm waiting for fall to see what they do. I'm curious about the masterworks for armor, and I hope they take it to the level they are with the weapons. This is a good step for exotics.
Quick question: When's exotic masterwork armors on the dev list? I can't remember
Right now.
Oh, summer. Okay, not too bad. Not that bad.
Nope. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It is summertime. Summer seasonal event, faction rallies, bounties, PC clan chat, and exotic armor sandbox. So, yep, that's your summertime, and then fall is gear collections, records, weapon slot changes, and weapon randomization. So
Nice.
that's the big stuff. But yeah, for me, it's just like go back to D1 because I mean, if you go back and pick just any piece of armor, and I'm gonna go, okay, so what's the helm for? Like Titan helm from Taken King. So you've got increased super energy gain from killing minions in the darkness. That was one you always wanted on for PvE. Replenish health each time you pick up an orb, and that's on like the helm. Then you've got the gauntlets that would have hand cannon reload speed or grenade throw distance. Then you had chest pieces that give you more ammo, like extra heavy ammo, more pulse rifle ammo. So you'd have like a chest piece that would work well if you were running pulse rifles. And there was so many more pieces to grind for on that would change like what I would go for, what I would equip. I mean, it reduces incoming solar burn damage, like if you want to have a burn, or increased armor when using a solar subclass. Those are all the things that I don't know why they removed so many of those.
Exactly. Those are very, very cool. Very cool, very good utility, and it gave you reason to want to wear specific armor sets. So, and also, we already talked about this as well, like, the whole armor set thing, a full set, that kind of stuff. We've talked about this kind of stuff before. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle, exotic armor masterworks. Very curious, but I will say, I mean, fantastic job so far from what I'm seeing with this reworking of weapons. So that's giving me a little confidence.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. I'm with you. I like what I'm seeing. It takes a while to make changes, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, so far, these are all, I don't have anything to really like break down about this. The new content looks good. The new mode that they can fit into Mars, it looks cool. It's got stuff to grind for. The weapons matter. These are all good things. Sorry, I muted it to cough.
No, it's coughing.
But yeah, there's still more I want, and these are hopefully all the questions at the summit that they're working on. So
absolutely. But do you feel hopeful, E? Are you hopeful?
That's what I said.
Is there a glimmer in your eyes? Is there a pep in your step?
Cautiously optimistic, yes.
He's like, I've been burned.
It's Destiny 2 was a hit, man. It's for somebody like me. So you even look at God of War, which is like a very much an action game, because we go back to, we're coming full circle, bringing it all
full
back.
Circle now.
It's a very much it's an action game, but they dove into some of the RPG stuff with gear. You've got some stats to it, some leveling
Absolutely.
up, like you're unlocking abilities as you go.
Mhm.
Those are the pieces. Those are what make me spend more time in a game.
Absolutely. It's what I call the minutia, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That mid-maxing and moving around and leveling it up and getting those little statistical advantages and stuff like that, and with progression, and that's what we miss. And yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And if they can start adding these things, we'll see, man. We'll see. So I definitely understand the cautious optimism.
Yeah. So good things. I think the Warmind update is going to be. Is this the one that brings people back?
No.
And I don't.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it off the top. Listen, if you've been hating, you ain't coming back. For the Destiny hardcore, this is promising.
Yep.
Promising baby steps in the right direction. You know, we still know there's much more to be done. You know, and from what we hear, that September Taken King equivalent might be that one. From what we hear, between the new mode, all the changes, and shout out to I'm gonna give Myelin Games a shout out real quick, man.
Oh, for the Lord,
because
yes.
he was invited. You got the chance to represent the lore community. Shout out to Bife. He should have been there. I don't know why the hell Bife ain't there, but I'm not gonna get into that. We ain't gonna talk about the politics. But shout out to Myelin because he really did a fantastic job, and actually standing ovation to Myelin because what we just complained about last week about raid layers and disconnect, he had one of the most in-depth questions. And he said from day one, when he first got to the summit, there wasn't a member of the lore team there. He was concerned. He spoke to Christopher Barrett. The next day they had a lore person there. Him, Mercury sat down and they got busy. And they asked all the questions that I needed to hear about the Osiris being an iconic character, why lore's not being respected, how raid layers, how Taken King is a perfect example of continuity. The strikes built you up to Oryx. You finished that. It wasn't finished. The raid concluded the story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He got so in depth. Again, shout out to Myelin, man. He really broke that hole down as to why Taken King was the example and how a raid layer completely disconnects you. He talked about just inconsistency. He talked about Grimoire. He talked about how like when you got the fragments from learned about the Book of Sorrows, you know, all these things that kind of brought you in and respected the lore. And from what I read, again, for September, these changes are supposed to be implemented. These changes, and of course they're NDA, so they can't say it.
Right.
But he'll say things like when he asked about certain things, and people say, "So, what did you feel about their answer towards, this?" I was very positively encouraged by this answer.
Yeah, that's a very common
There's
thing
something
I heard
you'd
a
be
lot
like,
of.
I was neutrally, encouraged by this answer. But for the most part, the majority of everything he answered was positive responses. So that's what I wanted to include.
No, absolutely. And that's one thing a lot of people, that's I think why Taken King had stuff that it's the intangibles that you can't kind of put your finger on.
Mm-hmm.
But as you go through, you land on the Dreadnought, and then your first strike is like you got the Shield brothers in there. You're figuring out why they crash landed. Then on the other side of the Dreadnought, you've got what's the Dark Strike? I cannot remember the name of it right now.
Oh yeah, I know. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, with the dude with the helmet that you chop off and you wear as a hat.
Oh, was it the Dark Blade?
Dark Blade, yeah, the Dark Blade. Yeah, I don't know if that's quite the strike, but yeah, that
I don't know
one
if
as
it's strike
well.
me, but that's who was fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember Eris getting all excited when we get down there.
So it was like, and that's still within the same ship. It's talking about Horus. He tried to overtake him. That piece is there. It's like those were all tied within the theme, not
perfectly.
Here's Mars. Here's a random Vex strike on Nessus for PlayStation exclusives. I will tell you, typically do not fit the lore. They're not usually connected to much of anything. So that's why I say don't worry about missing so much on that one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you have here's this thing on Mars. You better place that new strike, both of them, on Mars. Some way or another. One of them in an underground, like cavern or catacombs, or an icy open air, like whatever. It needs to connect to your content. Otherwise, what's the point?
Absolutely.
Same with the raid as well. And the raid layers attempt maybe, but yeah, I mean, So yeah, for what Mylan Game's saying, all that stuff, those are the things. When your whole world is connected, it just has a little different feel, and it makes a difference.
Absolutely, and it's huge. And the fact that they called him out on it, they wanted to get answers. They had the story lead person there, and again, according to them, these are things that are going to be implemented. They're very hopeful, for what they hear about September and including this new mode. So, we'll see, man. It's some positive light. We'll see what happens.
Indeed, I was like, and it's just the stuff for us to look forward to. So, all in all, pretty good. Might do it the way Bungie does and wrap this thing up with the Warmind trailer, so the full 2 minutes. So if you want to crank up your sound, I know you're kind of sharing on your side. I don't know why mine broke. I am sorry about that.
They're going to be living through your Twitch stream right now.
Yeah. So
don't worry about it.
I am going to go ahead and play the trailer, and we will wrap up just shortly after that. So let's get this thing going.
No doubt.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past. That's the rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake. The Clovis Bray tech in that building allowed us to colonize the system during the Golden Age. They sought to create peace for all humanity. Which is ironic, because they also built Rasputin, the single most powerful weapon in the solar system. Either way, it's all been entombed on Mars since the collapse. Along with something far more terrifying.
She's a ninja.
Yeah, she's got the whole. You're gonna have to give me the narrative play by play. I share it right now.
Now she's hanging on the wall with the knife.
Oh, did I lit?
Climbing up, standing on top of the ice.
Oh yeah, and that gun she's got on her back, very unique. Looks like an end of a quest item.
And the giant shadow over the top.
Oh yeah, I know there's a lot of mystery with that. Yep.
So it's good stuff, guys. Honestly, it's pretty sweet. So, of course, hold on. Full screen. Got that one going. Well, that's my background, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at that.
Yeah, sorry, my guys. Sorry, guys. We'll work out the kinks on my side. We'll figure why Google always betrays us midstream when it comes to sharing for some stupid reason.
But yep.
It's whatever.
Guys, hopefully you enjoyed. I'm going to go see Avengers. I shout out to all of you to do the same.
Yes, keep it spoiler free.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm not saying a word. So
I know you will.
I'm going to be tight-lipped. I'm going to go live in God of War after my break as well.
Nice.
But yeah. So we got some stuff to look forward to. I mean, and these are all setting up the fall to be better and better. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. And we got a week and a half till this thing comes out. We're not that far.
Yeah, we're not that far, man. Those are week and a half. That'll be right around here very soon.
The exotic grind will be real.
Yes. Cannot wait.
All right. Well, you guys know where to find both of us. So me, Twitter, Ebontis, twitch.tv/Ebontis, and YouTube as well. If you guys want to drop a like if you enjoy these videos, comment if you got questions you want to see in a future video, please. And also just hit that subscribe button for both of us. Hit the alert bell, get those notifications. Always help support the channel any way you can. So thank you guys. Thank you very much. And for you, Cognito.
Yeah, man. Of course, at Lord Cognito here on Twitter, and you already know Lord Cognito on Xbox and Cognito 360 on PlayStation. Iron Lord podcast will be returning this Sunday in the Realm of the Lords on the Inner Circle YouTube channel. This week, Jess Gordon will actually be there. He had to reschedule last week, so it was a last minute cancellation. But just going from Windows Central, Corgan, excuse me, from Windows Central will be in the building. It should be a fun show. Please stop by, show support. And of course, please support Ebontis on his Twitch. You know, he's doing great content right now. And as well as the Iron Lord podcast YouTube. We got a couple subscribers today because of Flashpoint. Very appreciative, you know, especially the chat for the dude. A lot of other people, new faces. I seen in there talking Destiny. So that gets to show me that, you know, work's not for nothing. People do appreciate what we do, and everyone's actually getting excited again. So that's really good to see. And we're going to ride this thing out, man.
No, yeah. So thank you guys for everything as always. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back next week seeing if there's anything major that drops. It's probably just the calm before Warmind Storm.
Absolutely, man. All right. You enjoy that Infinity War and Thanos, man.
Yeah, let me know when you see it. We'll have to chat afterwards.
I see it Saturday. It's on, man.
Yep, when our minds explode, then we'll talk.
No doubt.
Have a good one, everybody.
All right. Peace.